guys, I apologise for no videos in the last few months. I've been very busy. I'll be making more videos in the future of what I've been up to. I'd like to speak about a small event that went on a few days ago. So there was a KSI Logan Paul press conference in London, and I do follow quite a lot of the YouTube drama and goings on, and I'm going to the boxing match next month. I thought I may as well pop along to the press conference because it's actually just down the road from me. So I went along. I got there about 2:30 where the press conference starts at 5. I got in the queues. The queues were pretty big, and the first 1,000 people were allowed in, so I queued for 2.5 hours, got very close to the entrance, only to be told that it was full. Bit annoying, but I thought I'll hang around and see what's going on, so I stayed at the front. It's pretty crazy because at the front there was loads and loads of people trying to get in, and there was rumours that if they went in the building next door, there's actually a door they could get through to get into the press conference room. And when this news kind of spread, hundreds of kids just ran in the building next door. They all just darted in and filled the whole building up, only to be told that there was no way through. Anyway, I hung around. I walked around the outside a bit, and I came across the back entry. And from here, you could see the 2 gold cars from the pools. You could see lots of YouTubers as well, and they were standing just outside of the entrance. Lots of fans were shouting at them to come over and cheering, and quite a few did come over. And I carried on staying there, and the press conference didn't last long at all. Actually, with Logan Paul walking out quite early. They were back out very soon, and this is where the mayhem happened. So the crowds were building up at the exit to the backstage, and this meant that the YouTubers couldn't actually get out, so they ended up being effectively kettled in the courtyard with no exit. So the crowds were forming. Then it was time for the pools to come out in their gold cars, so security started to clear the way through the crowd, and their dad Greg Paul helped out with this, and also Zaddy, their friend. And so they managed to push the crowd back, and they started to come out in their gold cars. But the kind of reaction from the British fans and crowds was pretty bad. The words that were said were horrible. Lots of things were flying at the car, people were kicking the car. And so as it started to come out, Greg Paul was one side, Zaddy was the other, kind of supporting the car to get out. And then just as it was out, it zoomed off pretty fast. And lots of people chased after the car, and I think it actually had to stop at a traffic light as people were spitting on the car and everything like that. But then, just after they'd gone, all the security and the YouTubers realised that they were actually, in the middle of the crowds, quite a long way away from their safe zone, and the security realised that they weren't based at the entrance to the courtyard, which was a bit of a mess. So you had Greg Paul, who was outside, and he actually got punched. I didn't catch the punch, but I actually saw all the security guards detaining him, the guy that punched him, and I think Zaddy as well chased after the cars to try and protect it. But then, all the security were out here trying to deal with this drama, trying to get the cars out, and so when everyone was moving back, they were able to move back in much closer to the courtyard. And it turns out then, the crowds were right next to the courtyard, and the YouTubers were very close to all the crowds. So it was all right then. Lots of YouTubers were quite enjoying the attention, I think, and they were getting up close to the crowds, signing autographs and whatever else. But then more and more kids started to climb the buildings around the courtyard. So you'd see them climbing, they're in the balconies, and then the stairwell around the balcony and the block of flats there, they were all around them. And then there was a house as well, and people actually climbed onto the roof of that, and one guy actually climbed right onto the apex of the roof. It didn't look safe at all. So then a lot of these kids were shouting rude words at people in the courtyard, but then they started also throwing things down. So you'd have paint cans, quite large objects that were being thrown down. And this is when the YouTubers started to feel a little bit scared, because they're effectively trapped in a courtyard with an angry mob throwing stuff down at them, which was not pleasant for them. And so that continued, and I think now in their minds was, how am I going to get out? Well, I think the first car out was actually people carry with Andy Oltig, one of Logan Paul's crew and Jake Paul's crew, and the front seat. I think they picked someone that was quite popular with the crowds to take the front seat of the car and get out, and they got out with minimal issues. I think Greg Paul and a lot of the Paul's crew also went in the back of this black vehicle, it's like a black van, to try and hide themselves and avoid all the drama. They got out fine. And then you had Deji coming out, and I think generally there was quite a lot of support for him when he was coming out. There was a guy next to me that was swearing at him though, and you could see Deji inside really It was difficult to see because it was tinted windows, but you could see him getting pretty riled up at this guy that was swearing at him from the outside. So anyway, he got out and he drove down to the traffic lights, but then there was a red traffic light, and so the crowd sprinted after him and surrounded the car. And then the traffic light turned green, he managed to get away, zoomed off, down to another red light, and all the kids sprinted after him again to surround the car. It's quite interesting to watch. Just before I went back, I saw that KSI slipped out the front of the building in a car, and I think it might have been the car actually that got hit by paint. One of these paint cans had come down, hit a car, and it was covered with liquid on the front. Yeah, it went around the back. Not many YouTubers left. A lot of the crowds are dissipating. I think TGF came out. Yeah, then there wasn't many at all, and then I saw Josh Pieter's came out to start interviewing the crowds, which I thought was pretty brave actually, considering these have been people throwing objects at him and his friends. But while he was doing that, he distracted the crowd, so actually Casper Lee just walked out the back of the building, which was pretty crazy. Where all the crowds were, he just managed to walk around and walk out, with very few people actually seeing him. And yeah, that's kind of a summary of the events that went on. I wasn't planning on making a video, but it was a pretty crazy event. I thought it was worth just putting the story together. There's a lot of different stories on the internet. Not many people were actually there and filming it. And saying that, I would like to apologise for filming portrait. I wasn't intending on making a video, so it's all portrait footage as you've seen. But I think it depicts the story quite well. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy thing to be involved in. Yeah. Anyway, looking forward to the boxing match on the 25th. Let's go champ.